Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Tuesday, the 5th of October. Today we continue reading through 1 Kings chapter 8, which is Solomon dedicating the temple. And I was struck by his prayer. He prays in verse 27, "But will God really dwell on earth? The heavens, even the highest heavens, cannot contain you. How much less this temple that I've built?" And so Solomon gets it. He realizes that God is transcendent, that God is beyond anything that he can think of, and that this temple, no matter how magnificent and glorious and splendid it was, couldn't contain God. They weren't the pagan nations that you'd build a temple and then carry your God into the temple and plonk this idol in the front, and then now your God's inside the temple. Solomon recognizes that's not how it works. And today we recognize that although we don't have temples, there's no church. There's nothing that we do. There's no practice that we have that will contain God. But what did the temple do? It was a focus for the people. And so as Solomon continues praying, he says to them, if somebody comes and they come and swear an oath before your altar in this temple, then hear from heaven and act. If people come to this altar in this temple and pray to you, God, then hear from heaven. You're not in this temple, but when the people are focused on the temple, then hear. So the temple almost becomes a telephone line to God almost. And he repeats this a number of times when your people have been defeated. And when they turn back to you and give praise to your name, praying and making supplication to you in this temple, then hear from heaven, forgive the sin of your people and bring them back. And as Solomon prays through, he says time and again, when people have done whatever, and they pray either in the temple or toward the temple, then hear from heaven. Recognizing, God, you're not in this temple, but let this temple symbolize our commitment, the passion that people have for you, that they're turning to you. They're not just praying anywhere in the field, but they're focusing on you and praying to you because they are praying toward this temple. And when they do that here, and today, we do our prayers through Jesus. And when we pray to Jesus, whatever our prayers might be, when we have Jesus as our focus and we're thinking, our supplication goes through him, then the same thing happens. God, hear from heaven, receive our prayer and act. So be encouraged as you pray that in the same way that God honored Solomon's prayer, he honors our prayers. The people of Israel had a stone building. We have the cornerstone of the eternal temple that we look towards. And we pray to Jesus. We pray in his name. We pray through him to the Father. He is our mediator and our advocate. And so be encouraged in your prayers that God, though he is in heaven, that he is not contained in the world, beyond anything we can imagine, as we pray through Jesus, God hears and he acts. That is our hope, and that is his promise, and that is our trust. Be blessed.